I hope you join me in this short series, and it's probably be, I would say, 2 parts, maybe 3, but at the very least, 3 parts. I'm not really for sure, how many parts it's going to be, but in part 1, so we're talking about the Antichrist and who the Antichrist is, and I've shared multiple videos already talking about this, but in this video we're gonna talk about 6 reasons why Rome is not the Antichrist. So for centuries, we have kind of been taught, like the church has kind of been taught, like church leaders have taught this, biblical scholars have said this. They have looked back in history and they said, because Nero, he was a Roman Empire that really hated Christians, hated the Jews, and he did put a mark on people, saying that you had to have this, mark in order to, do X, Y, and Z and things like that. And that does, match up with scripture. However, I have 6 reasons why that Nero and Rome is not the Antichrist. And so I just want you to be patient, join me in this, and so here's 6 reasons why. Revelation chapter 17 verse 10, the 6th now reigns, where it says the 6th now reigns. Well, the Romans were at power at the time of the vision. So think back when the vision was taking place. The Roman Empire was in power at that time. And that would be the reason why when you see the 6th now reigns, that's the reason for that. So reason number 1, Revelation chapter 17 verse 10, the 6th now reigns. The second reason, Daniel chapter 7 verse 23, the 4th world power. So this is talking about 4 world powers that's going to rise and fall. The 4th world power, so before it's talking about 3 world powers that are going to rise and fall, and the 4th world power is going to rule the earth. Well, the Romans ruled much of the earth, but not the whole earth. Did you catch that? So, yes, the Romans would have been a world power. They would have controlled, like, a third, a fourth, a 12th, a small fraction of the world, but not the entire world. Therefore, when the mark came, when Nero, gave the mark, the entire empire had to get the mark, and well, the rest of the world did not, get that mark. And so, you might ask, well, does the whole world have to get the mark? Well, if you look at Revelation chapter 17 verse 18, it says, the great city that rules the kings of the world. So yes, this city, this king that rules in this city is a king that rules over the kings of the world. So yes, when you talk about the world, yeah, it would be the entire world that would have gotten the mark, not just a partial, not just a fraction. And then the third reason, when the Romans fell, Jesus had not yet returned. In Daniel chapter 7, verses 21 through 22, it says, this horn was raging war against God's people and was defeating them until the Ancient One came. So until the Ancient One comes, this so-called Antichrist is going to be at war with God's people. And that's how we know, like, that when Jesus returns, it's over for the Antichrist. And so there you see, Jesus did not, come after the Romans fell, after their time was over. We're still here, is what I'm saying. Number 4, Daniel 8:14 and Daniel 8:26 tells us that this king will rule for 2,300 days. Rome was at the power for far more days than what we read from those scriptures. 5, Daniel 8:21 through 22. The male goat is Greece. The large horn is the first king of Greece, of the Greek Empire. So this is saying that Greece already risen and had a king before we get to verse 22. Now verse 22. The 4 horns replaced the one large horn. So for this, we have to look at what empire rose and took place of the Greek Empire. The Roman Empire. Look at the Roman Empire. The Romans rose up in power and they took Greece. Greece basically just got replaced with Rome. And so there you see in verse 22, when you get down to the 4 horns that replaced Greece, yeah, it's Rome. So the 6th reason, Daniel 8:23, at the end of their rule, meaning the end of the 4th king rule, a fierce king will rise to power. This takes us back to the fall of Rome. Remember, Jesus did not return at the fall of Rome. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. Therefore, we are waiting on the fierce king to rise. And that is the 6 reasons why the Antichrist is not the Roman Empire. The Antichrist is someone else, is another empire. And when we get to the second part of this, we're going to talk about who the Antichrist is, which one it is.